Alright, so here's a video that I'm just doing on the quartering. Video that the quartering did rather, and it's basically about um, the ad that Microsoft pulled, right? That had Marina Abramovich's artwork. So here's the beginning. We'll just listen to Jeremy here for a bit. I think it's funny when he tries to pronounce it.
Microsoft deletes HoloLens commercial featuring controversial artist Maria Abramovic.
I'm pretty sure it's Abramovich. So anyway, sorry if my voice is terrible here. So anyway, she does this commercial for Microsoft. And if we come to 254, here's a couple points that I'm going to touch on. So here, supposedly the act symbolized the union between man and the divine. And her art was seems to have been the perfect theme for their new HoloLens 2 peripherals. And yet, here, viewers showed strong rejection of Abramovich's presence, at first downvoting the video to the extent that Microsoft locked comments, then locked likes, and then removed the video completely from YouTube. And I'm going to say right now, when we talk about the elites in society and the people with power, and I'm not talking about, the idea of, oh, white men have power because they're cis white men, but I'm talking about people who actually hold the reins. So here, YouTube publishes something, and Microsoft can now, people give feedback. And Microsoft then turns around and says, we don't like that feedback, so we're going to stop you from making comments. And then they realize, oh, people aren't making comments, but they're still clicking that little freaking downvote button. And they see those downvotes flying into the tens of thousands, and nobody is clicking like. So then they lock that. And then they ultimately get rid of the video. I'll tell Microsoft this, and I'll say it to anybody. The thing that bothers me the most is when I have an opinion on something and somebody sets the comments to locked and I can't make a comment. Nothing bothers me more. Whether it's something I agree with on the video or something I disagree with on the video, whoever does it, there are channels on YouTube that I have liked their comment, like their content. I like it. I think they do good content, but I go there and their comments are locked. I no longer go to those sites because I say, if you can't handle me saying what I think about your video, whether it's good or bad, sorry, you don't deserve my patronage. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to follow it. However good you may be, and whether I agree with you or disagree with you, you've lost me. Keep those comments open. Because me as a viewer, somebody who watches videos, half the time I'm kind of listening to the video in the background and I'm scrolling through the comments while I'm listening to it, because to me the interesting part is the comments. It's the discussion that is drawn in by different people's perspectives. Somebody says something, you think, oh, that I hadn't really thought of it that way. Or you can say, yeah, look, I'm not in the minority. There's all these people that think the same thing. Or you can say, frick, everybody's saying one thing, but I think differently. Is there something that I'm not getting here? And then you can sort of look at it and you can question it. And you can try to come up with sort of a new way that you might not have seen something before. You might end up not changing your mind. You might say, no, all these people are just freaking crazy, and I'm the only sane person here. But the comments really allow you to engage with the material. And by locking that comment section, it is about the worst thing anybody can do as far as I'm concerned. So now, we're going to go on to, I think it was around 707 here. Actually, it's probably earlier because I want to see some of the art. So here's some of her art.
I mean, look at some of this stuff. She's using what can only be described as blood to write on a wall recipes. That's art. I guess, yeah, that definitely is.
Yeah, that's definitely not art. There's an old saying that I'd heard ages and ages ago, and I can't remember where it was, but I'm sure it's been going since before I even heard when I initially heard it. Okay, and it goes something to the effect of, if I can do it, it's not art. Okay, and I think that that is actually a pretty good descriptor, because the number of people that are actually what I would consider artists in the common parlance, and I know everybody's going to be like, oh yeah, but who are you to decide what's art? Maybe this is art and it's artistic and it's a different... Sorry, if I look at something and I'm like, I can write those words on that wall, that's not art. Okay, that's just somebody being pretentious. Okay, being haughty and sanctimonious, and I am not interested in that at all. So when I see stuff like this, I believe the vast majority of people in society just say, what the hell is this crap? Like, why is this supposed to be high art? How is it that this is what the elites tell us should be aspired to? Because when I see something like this is not aspirational to me. Okay? This is not something that is going to cause somebody to aspire to be greater, to aspire to a better world, to aspire to improve themselves. So we're going to go up to about 707 here in this video. And I think this comment is very telling, though possibly not for the reason that she would say, but definitely for the reason that I'm going to say. Abramovich claims that Microsoft's mixed reality is the best way to preserve her art. For her, the future of art lies in the transmission of energy between the viewer and the artist. Number one, what the hell is that? Right? What the hell is that? And number two, we're going to continue on. And not in the perception of material objects. So there's our number two, in more ways than one. Number one, what the hell is this all supposed to mean? The transmission of energy between the viewer and the artist. That's just freaking a bunch of gobbledygook as far as I'm concerned. And the reason that she likes this, the reason that she's focused on the transmission of the energy between the viewer and the artist, is because she doesn't want it to be in the perception of the material object. Because the perception of her material objects is that they are crap. Okay? They are not artistic. They are not high art. They are not anything that people looking at it with an uncritical eye would say, wow, that is amazing. And that is something truly, truly fantastic that took years of skill and practice and dedication to make into something great. Okay? So we're going to look here at a few other bits of art that have graced the upper echelons of the elite. Okay, here we go. Newsnight's play out. Here's a bunch of feminists doing their little sing-song here. Okay? We'll listen to this for a little bit. It's like the voices of angels. There they are, right? A heavenly chorus, just singing their way into your heart. Oh, here we go. Dramatic pause. Dramatic pause. Just feel the emotion. What the hell is this? This is terrible. And now they start freaking yowling like freaking dogs and apes. I'm supposed to pay money to go and freaking watch some people barking like dogs and this is art? That's freaking ridiculous. That is ridiculous. You're not getting 2 cents out of me for this. Here we go. Let's look at this feminist art show weaves women together, okay? Here it is. Let's listen to what these ladies
Austin curated the performers.
We have a really cool song to start us off, and
I bet it's cool. I bet it's just the coolest song I have ever heard in my life.
We both have written things, and
ooh, you're really selling me on your art. We both have written things. Man, that is just going to be a delight to go and see that, I'm sure.
I really like what Ashley Laverty has done. She posed the question to a group of women, what do people think that a woman does? We've got some stand-up.
Oh, there's one of the big questions of the ages, right? What do people think a woman does? What the hell kind of question is that? What the hell, like, there is nothing that a woman does, okay? Except maybe you could say, oh, she pees. She pees. I bet pretty much all women pee, right? They go poop, they breathe, they eat, They blink too. I bet these are things that women do. But aside from that, there are freaking 3.5 to 4 billion women on this planet. You know what those women do? They do basically everything, okay? Anything that's getting done somewhere in the world is probably being done in some way by a woman. And those women will be amazingly varied in their interests in what they do and what they enjoy doing and what they would never ever do. Okay? So posing that question is, to me, like, it's nonsense. It's just silly. Okay? If you want to say, if you want to focus on something and say, oh, what is it that makes women want to be more drawn towards weaving? Because this is a feminist art show about weaving. And I'm going to guess, look at this, women, 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 women. They're all women. I'm going to guess there's not a lot of men waltzing through the doors of this yurt here to hang out in a freaking dark, freaking dingy looking place with freaking things hanging all over from the roof. Look at this thing. This just looks like a freaking nightmare to me. Okay? But anyways, look at this. Then they get up and they have...
We've got some stand-up comedy. We've got...
Oh, comedy too. I bet you that's going to be a laugh riot. Yeah, that will be comedy unlike any you have ever heard before. Mainly because there probably won't be any laughs at all. And I'm going to bet, I could be wrong though, I could be wrong, but I'm going to bet there's going to be a lot of jokes in there about freaking vaginas. Okay. Right? So you get these things. Here we go. Here, Judith Bernstein, a feminist art activist. Here we go. Some more high feminist art, we'll say. I'm getting kind of caught up on the feminist art here, but this is the kind of stuff that you see lauded nowadays, okay? And look at this. It's like freaking, we got boobs here. We got orifices all over it. We got freaking wieners here. Like, look at this. This is just freaking... Oops. Oh, look, here we go. Here we go. More wieners. Look at that. More vagina symbolism, right? This is freaking what they do nowadays. And they say, oh, this is our wonderful, thought-provoking high art. Okay? And it's not. And it's not. And it doesn't resonate with people. It's ridiculous. And the elites of society want us to expect or to accept that this is what we should be so in awe of. Okay? When it's not. This is something that, to me, is amazingly juvenile. It's very superficial. There's not a lot of depth in it, and its breadth of consideration is amazingly small. And by that, I mean very similar to the question where they said, what is it that women do? Okay? It's a very superficial question. This is superficial. This is viewing the nature of femininity or whatever they want to talk about. It's simply vaginas versus penises. Okay? When these are much bigger, much broader questions that could be delved into far greater, and they could be done with, frankly, a whole lot more skill. So, for example, I did a quick search, and I basically just punched in freaking great paintings, and this is the first thing that came up. Okay? So we're going to go down here, and we're going to look. Oh, look, the Mona Lisa, right? The Arnolfini portrait. We've got girl with pearl earring. Look at this, the Night Watch. Look at the skill that's involved in these things. Okay? The creation of Adam. Right? Fantastic work. Look at this thing. Fantastic work of art. Right? That has stood for hundreds of years. Okay? And by stood, I don't mean it's existed. I mean it has resonated with people for hundreds of years. Okay? We've got the swing, another one. Look at this, like the detail, the skill that is involved in doing a lot of these pictures. Sunday Afternoon, right? Look at this, and we all know this one. I think this was the one from Ferris Bueller. Okay, and speaking of which, why does that scene in Ferris Bueller's Day Off resonate so much when they're in the museum? Okay, and Cameron's standing there looking at the picture, and we're seeing these great works of art. When I left the movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off, there's a lot of good, funny scenes in that. But that's a scene that stuck with me. It's a scene that I always think of when I think of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. when they're going through the museum. And all it's got is basically just music. They don't really say anything during it. But it is a very, very powerful scene because they are showing us something aspirational. It's about these, they're out there having sort of the day of their lives, but even they take the time to see this and to see how much higher people can reach, how much better they can be, right? Like, look at this. Lady of Shalot's probably got to be in here. Here we go. Fall of the Damned. Look at this. Like, look at how detailed these are, right? We're scrolling. Like, look at some of these. Look at this. Look at the level of detail in these things. These are fantastic. Here you go, Lady of Shalott, right? These are fantastic works of art. And this is what people will go to a museum to see. People will see this and they'll say, yeah, we went and we saw some of the greatest works of art ever made. People are not going to go to see this,
which is a great combination.
Backing it up, and say, wow, I just saw one of the things that changed my life. Okay, they're not going to go into the weaved yurt. Okay, they're not going to listen to these women barking while standing there with their easels and songbooks. What the hell is even written in these songbooks? If you watch this, they're like turning the pages, and what does it say? More barking, now switch to yipping. Like, how freaking stupid is this, right? So anyways, when they get somebody that is from that level to try and do an ad for Microsoft, sorry, I'm rambling all over the place, to try and do an ad for Microsoft, right? Which is something that the vast majority of regular people use. And they try to pass it off and pawn it off by somebody whose idea of artwork, I'll wait for this to load, is this: fresh morning urine, sprinkle over nightmare dreams, right? Or this. This doesn't speak to people. This turns people off, okay? Why? Because this ain't art, okay? I know you could maybe categorize it technically as art, but this isn't art. People aren't going to want to go and view this and be like, wow, we just saw the most amazing thing today. It was incredible. It was something that I don't think if I tally up everybody in my life, none of them would be able to do this picture that we've seen. None of them would be able to ever do this. I could do this. I could just go and freaking go to a slaughterhouse and grab the skull of a goat and hold it there. Boom, I'm an artist. No, that's not how it works. Sorry. So Microsoft, you were right for people to trash you over this, and you were wrong to shut them down. Because by shutting down comments, by turning things off and turning off the ability to either upvote or downvote, you are basically telling your fans or your customers that you don't want to hear what they have to say, that their opinions are not only not important, but that you are going to effectively toss those in the garbage, okay? And I'm sorry, people don't forget that kind of thing. So that's my thoughts on this.